This is tutorial 9-1 in GIS Tutorial Workbook 3. In this tutorial, we're going to be building cartographic representations. Now, as we did in a few other tutorials, you're going to want to create a backup geodatabase for this exercise, because if you make some mistakes, it's going to be very difficult going back to the beginning point. And the reason that is because we're going to be creating fields inside some feature classes that cannot be deleted. So you'll have to come up with different names for them, which will not correspond with what's in the book. So, and plus, it'll make a mess. So it's just easier to have a backup. So we're going to be working in this geodatabase, Planimetrics. So you just want to right-click on that, copy, and if you don't have a backup folder, create one and just right-click, paste, and it'll create a copy that if you make a mistake, you just come over, you can delete this one, you go to your backup, you right-click, you copy this one, and you paste it into your data folder, and you're right back at the beginning. With that done, we can go into ArcMap, and we're going to be working with tutorial 9-1. Now, there are a lot of your turns. Some of these I'm going to do, others I'm not going to do, just because they take a really long time. Well, not really long, but for making a video, it'll turn this into like an hour-and-a-half video compared to whatever it'll be. So we're going to start by zooming out, because they zoomed me in really close, and the first time I did this and I followed the steps, it didn't work because not enough of the actual park was inside my extent. So I'm going to go up to 10,000. Then I'm going to pan just to have the entire park in view. Now I'm going to right click on my data frame, and I'm going to add a new group layer. And we're going to call this group layer Representation Group. And they're going to have us start off by right-clicking on Trails and going to Convert Symbology to Representation. This window will pop up. This will be the name of the feature when it comes up to here. These are the names of the fields that will be added to the Trials Shape feature class. So this is where I ran into the mistake previously mentioned. We're going to do features and current extent. Because I did not have all the features, they were not converted. So when I went to go change them, they weren't affected whatsoever. So that's why I zoomed out more. You can do all features. The conversion will just take longer. Then you just go to convert, click and drag it, the rep up into our new group. You might want to collapse it. And then there's a your turn where we do the same thing for everything else. So convert, current extent, collapse, and drag up. Some of the names will change when you do this, so don't think. You might want to look at the name while you're doing this, so you don't think you skipped one when you shouldn't have. And fences is the one where this will happen. As you can see, it's not called fences, it's called miscellaneous structures. With that done, they tell us that we can actually close our raw data group and turn it off. Now what we're going to do is we're going to convert Actually, no. We're going to open up the properties for Trails. Trails rep. And we're going to go to the symbology tab, which has already been used for mine. And over here, we've used features, categories, quantities in the past. A few of you might have used charts and even multiple attributes before. We're going to be using representations. And if you had done this a number of times and we did not create a backup and you made a mistake and you went back and you're redoing this, you might have two options here because you can only have one field with the same name. You can't have two fields with the same name. You'll cause an error. So for color, they want us to change it to medium sand, which is down here. Then they want us to go to this add new strokes layer. Basically, it just adds another line on top of that line. And we're going to change this to 40%. Now you might be wondering why they did that. Well, they're going to put some dash marks into it by using this little plus sign up here. And these are effects that you can add to your line. And these effects depend on which line you're on. Now, this is one line, this is another line. So this bottom line is the sand one. The top one is the gray. So we're going to click on this little plus sign and make sure that it's for the gray line. And we're going to click on dashes. Now, for the only thing that they tell us to do here is to pretty much look at the endings. Now you can have no constraints and it's just whatever it is. With half patterns, the ends and begins will always have half a length of line of the gray color. With full pattern, it will have a full length of gray at the beginning and end. With half gap, just a little bit of the sand color from underneath, and full gap, a much wider width. And then you can do some custom ones if you want. But they want with the half pattern. So once that's done, we're just going to click OK. This is going to pop up, and what this is saying is you're, making changes. Do you want to save them? Just click Don't Warn Me Again for this session, and then click OK. As you can see over here, our pattern has changed. So we're going to load and zoom to Bear Park. And we're just going to zoom to. And this is the area where I zoomed to, and none of these had been converted. But because I zoomed out, they were all converted. Now we're going to open up the tree inventory rep. And we're going to see that there are 37 trees that we can choose from. But they're going to have us work on number 13, which is the elm tree. Now, why circles might work for people that are going to be using this, a very quick reference, circles are fine. But if you're going to put this on display or something like that, you want it to actually look nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the marker, and they want you to go through and look at some of these styles that we can choose from. See how detailed some of them are? Very detailed, like color patterns and everything like that. So you have fading. And the only one here that's associated with trees is the leaf. But it's a maple leaf. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on our preview. We're going to click on this. We're going to delete it. And we're going to create our own. We're going to come up to this here, the little letter A for create glyph. And we're just going to click on it. Not the arrow. And then up here, you're going to want to find Azuri U.S. Forestry 2. It's alphabetical order, so it's not that hard to find. And in here, we're going to choose one for elm. Now, they give us the Unicode, so we're just going to use that. If you were doing one, you'd probably know what it looks like. Otherwise, you'd have to have a code, or just choose one at random, but it might be the wrong one. Because if you hover over, it does not tell you, and if you click on them, it doesn't give you a name. So just click OK, and then they want us to change the color to leaf green. Click OK again. Now, they say to leave it at the default font size of 4. My default was 5, so I'm going to change it to 4, and then click OK. Now what we're going to do is we're going to see what we did. As you can see, made a bunch of little tree symbols. And we're going to do your turn. And I'm going to do most of it, but I'm not going to focus on the colors because it's going to take a while to find all the colors on that little thing. So we're going to start with Hackberry, which is number 15. And it's 169. And they'd say leather brown. I know that's down here, so I'll do the ones where I kind of know they are, or something similar colored. And they want us to give it a 3.3. Now, they're showing you that it's important to have different, not only different symbols, but sometimes different colors, or not just different symbols and colors, but different font sizes. Because some trees are bigger than others, some are more important than others, so you want them to stick out more. And you don't have to click OK, I just was getting kind of in a rush. And moving quicker than I normally do. Now this is dark alphabet. Right there. And this one is getting changed to 5.2. Now our next one is ash, which is 1. And our code for it is 107. And our color is going to be peacock green. And then we're going to go down to oak, which is 23. And is code 189. And this is dark umber. And 7.2. And then number 24 is the last one we're going to be doing. Its code is 121. And we're going to make it raw umber. And make it 5.8. I was able to make all the colors the proper ones, so that was lucky. Now you can see there are a few dots left. Those are just ones that they didn't tell us to do, and if you want to go assign one, feel free to. It doesn't really matter. But what we're going to do now is they're patterned in there kind of randomly, so we're going to change the order in which they are drawn. And you're going to do that by clicking on Properties for Tree Inventory. In the Symbology, go to this little button right here, and Symbol Levels. And you're going to make sure you check this box up here. And we're going to arrange what rank they're going to be in. Right now, Ash is the first one drawn. But our order wants to be Elm, Pecan, Ash, Hackberry, a Sage Orange, and Oak. So you could do it from that order, bring Elm all the way up, but here's the quick way to do it. You start with the one you want to be last, and that's Oak. So you're going to click on Oak, and you're going to click on this, and it's going to bring it all the way to the top. Then you're going to do the Orange Tree, the Hackberry, go all the way up, find Ash, then Pecan, then Elm. And by doing them in reverse order, they're actually in the correct order that we wanted. If you did it in the first one, you'd have to use the arrow button some more and get them to change. This way, we only have to click on them once. With that done, we just click OK. And then apply. As you can see, some of them changed. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be changing the legend around. Right now, we have 37 trees. We don't care about 37 trees. We care about these 6. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our options for our legend. And that's legend options. And right now, these are all the items in our legend, so we're just going to get rid of those. And then they're all over here in the rules. Now, these are the ones we can select from, so we're just going to choose Ash, Elm, Hackleberry will be next. Seeing that it's in alphabetic order, it's easier to do that than zoom up and down. Click OK, then OK again. And now if I open it, it looks like this, rather than all 37 colors. Next, we're going to create polygon representations of parks. And we're going to do that by double-clicking on our recreations. And the first thing they want us to do is change the name for Sports Area and Court to Park. And then change the color to this green here. Now, there's 2 things here. There's the solid color, and then there's the outline. Don't worry about the outline. We're just worried about the color. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to add a new marker, and that's this guy right here. And default is a little black square. So we're going to click on that, click on the preview, click on it, this, and we're going to get rid of it. And this time we're actually going to draw our own. We're going to draw some grass. So you want to click on this tool right here. This is the create line. And from the beginning here, you're just going to click here, go up there and double click. And they want us to change this to olivine yellow, which is that right there. Then they want us to come over, and they want us to do 3 more lines. Light apple. Macaw green. And leaf green. Then click OK. And that's what our pattern's going to be looking like. Now, right now, it's set for the center of the polygon. We don't want that. And yours doesn't have to look perfect. They want it to look like, whatever you make it. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the size to 1 because we don't want, grass is small. So we're going to change that to 1. And we want to click on this here because we don't want it at the polygon center, which it was set to. We want it randomly inside the polygon. And we're going to click OK. And then we're going to change these X and Y steps from 10 to 6. This will cause them not to be spaced out as much. Because even though it says it's random, it still has to follow some little rules. Then we're going to click OK. And as you can see, it pretty much turned it to look like a lawn and with little tufts of grass. And they want us to move the recreational rep to the bottom of our draw table. That way streams are no longer being hidden. Now we're going to change the representation of water. And they want us to move it to just be right below trail rep. Okay, and now they want us to load and zoom to dog park. Okay, and now we're there. Then we're going to open up our bodies of water. Oops, I dragged the wrong one up. Bodies of water is supposed to be just below trails. Okay, with that fixed now, I'm going to go into the properties for bodies of water. And as you can see, we have the line and we have our solid polygon. We're going to be making sure we're working on the solid polygon. So what we're going to do is we're going to, instead of solid color, we're going to click over here and we're going to have gradient. And they have 2 colors in mind for us. Color 1 is over here. It's a sluggy light sky. I don't know what's that called. And then the other one is this bluish color over here. Then they want us to change the style to circular. And then we're going to first move this over here so we can see this lake over here. And then we're going to click apply. Now what it did was it kind of gave a ripple effect to the water. But it also created, the gradient created the illusion that there's a shallow end and it gets deeper near the middle. But don't let that fool you. This does not use any of the fields to change the color based on depth. It just makes it a more realistic view. Now what we're going to be working on is the fences. And we're going to try to, rather than a line, we're going to actually give them something that looks like an actual fence. And this is a fence right here. So we're going to click on miscellaneous structures and make sure you're clicking on the fence. This is a very common error for this tutorial, is to accidentally be working on the wrong one. And I'll show you a good example of how you can mess up on the next one we do, which is the street center lines. But for now, we're just going to fix this. So with this here, we're going to go up to the plus sign, and we're just going to give it a dash. And we're also going to change the color to brown. This cocoa brown down here. And this is where it can be a little tricky in the book. The width of the line is supposed to be 0.3. And up here in pattern, right now it's set at 10 space 10. They want 1 space 1. With that done, you're just going to click apply. And as you can see, we have a dashed line. But we've seen similar things like that in the past. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a marker that looks like posts, like a fence post. So we're going to come down here and we're going to click on add a new marker. And we're going to click on this right here. We're going to go to our preview, click on the square, delete it. And we're going to click on the drop-down menu and create a circle. Now, as soon as I hit that, it creates a circle. The book makes it sound like some people might have to click on that and then click on a circle to create the circle. It might not just automatically pop up. So if nothing shows up, just click on create circle and then it should show up. So what we're going to do in here now is change the color to the same brown, cocoa brown. Click OK. OK. We're going to make it a size of 1, and they want us to change the step to 8. And we want to change it to the endings to with marker. And then click OK. And what it did is, you can't really see it that well this zoomed out. If we zoom in a little bit better, it placed little circles that look like posts along the fence. Now we're going to be changing the representation of the streets. This is the trickiest part of the tutorial. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom to map 1 bookmark. We're going to open up our street center lines rep, and we're going to be working in Rule 5. Now, as you can see, the rules are in brackets. The label is unbracketed, and Rule 1 is label 1. Rule 2 is 2, and so forth. But Rule 5 is 6. Rule 6 is 7. Rule 7 is 15. That can cause some confusion, and I think they did that on purpose to make sure that you're paying attention. So we're going to make sure we're on Rule 5, which is label 6. And we're going to change the size of width to 6. And then we're going to make the caps and the joins both rounded. And then change the color to 10%. Next, we're going to add a new stroke layer. And we're going to change that to 3 points and both to round, which is or the default scene that we changed the other one. In this one, we get to leave black. Now we're going to add an effect of a buffer. And they want us to make this buffer size 3. And then they want us to click our options. And they want us to go to symbol levels. And in here, they tell us to draw this layer using the symbol levels below. They tell you to have this one joined. Now, it opens like this for me. I don't know about you. And then to click OK. Then click Apply. Now, the same thing, this happened to me the first time I tried this. This might not have happened to you. I'm not sure. In the book, it shows that it has no overlaps. So I'm not sure why this is happening. So I'm going to come in here, click on it, click it off, click it on, and apply. Then I'm going to go in and do it again, see if that does anything. It's already checked. I refreshed, and they don't go away. So I'm not really sure what's up with that. Sometimes they go away and everything's fine. Other chances they don't. And they don't really tell you how to fix it if that doesn't come up. So I'm Yeah, see, it doesn't do anything for me, so I have no idea really how to get rid of those. I did everything the book says. Not sure why it's not working for me. So, they want us to go on to rule 4, which is luckily label 4. And they want us to change this to 8, both of them to round, and 10%. Add a new stroke. Set the width to 2. Round and round. Keep it black. And then add a buffer. That is 4. Then click Apply. Oops, I had another line added in here, so I'm going to remove that. And then click Apply again. See, that's why you have to work slow. I had 3. So this is my buffer. This is my line, which I have to redo now to be 8 points, round, round, with 10% gray. Now they want us to go back to symbol levels. They want us to click on join, and then they want us to also merge them. Click OK, and then to click OK. Now, once again, it did not work the way that it was supposed to for me. You're not supposed to see, all this is supposed to be smoothed away, and it's not. I will try moving it to look just like the picture. Not sure why this is not working like the book says it should be. Okay. Well, it worked for some. As you can see, it got rid of the ones over here. So maybe if I go in here and well, I can't get rid of those. If you can figure out how to do it, please leave it in the comments section. And what they're going to have us do now is there's a your turn where you go in and you pretty much do the same things. This is where it can get confusing because you want to do Rule 1, Rule 2, and Rule 7, which is down here. Make sure that you don't choose Rule 6, which is Label 7. So you want 15, 2, and 1. I'm not going to do these because it can be kind of time consuming. I will come back to do this section and add another video if I ever figure out how to do it perfectly. So we're going to zoom back out to our dog park. And we're going to edit our water here. Like this portion here, I guess, was cut off or improperly made. So what we're going to do is we're going to start an editing session. And there's only one geodatabase being used, so you won't have one coming up asking you which one you want to do. And we're going to be using a new toolbar. So go to Customize Toolbars, and it's Representation. And you want to click on this Select tool. It's the little black element with the R. And you want to select this link down here. Now, why do they keep zooming you like really far out? I just don't know. And they want you to make... Actually, I skipped ahead. What we're going to be working on is the streams. And we're going to make bodies of water the only selectable layer. And we're going to click on this right here. Because as you can see, the stream goes over the road, which isn't the case. So rather than bring streets above water, which most people would do, they want you to just get rid of that segment. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this erase tool. Now, when you use it, it's probably going to be a circle. To change it, just go to Options. You can have the circle, square. It might be too big. I think when I first did it, it was like 32 or 36, I think it was. No, 32. It was 32. It was about the size of this, which is way bigger than the area we need. And say you sneezed and you deleted more than you needed to, don't freak out. Just hit the undo button. Comes back. So if you want to change the size and shape of your erase tool, just right click, options. I like the square because we're dealing with straight lines. And I found 14 to be like pretty much the perfect fit. Because it just goes right there. Delete. And now we can clear our selection. And you can see right here, it's pretty much perfect. It goes right to the street and ends. Here, I was a little sloppy. So, right there, as I was undoing, I realized that what I thought was touching up was actually deleting things that I didn't want to delete. Then there's a your turn where they want you to go around Bear Park and do the same thing. Here's another one you want to clean up. And if you really wanted to, you could probably do these. I'm not going to do those. Feel free to do those on yourself. Now what we're going to do is we're going to load and zoom to the dog park bookmark, which is weird because I thought we already have that. I'm going to go in and check real quick to see if there was 2 dog parks. That might just be a typo. They want the lake at the dog park. I just glimpsed at it rather than actually read it. So we're going to zoom to that. And with our select tool, we're going to select this lake. And I guess they wanted it to fill up this area. I guess that's what it originally is. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the direct select, which is pretty much the element that's white in the middle. And they want us to draw a box around like the single box right here. And if we drag it, we can change the shape of our lake, which is pretty cool. Then they want us to use this to pretty much have that lake fill that area. So there is no real shape that it has to be. It's really up to you. So I'm going to undo that. And if you try just moving it while they're all selected, you just move the whole lake. That's why you have to really select them. So I can just move it up to here. Now Alligator Lake. Feel free to play with it, make it whatever shape you want. They have no real instructions how to do it. They have a picture of what it kind of looks like, but have fun with it. And that's it for this tutorial.